Universities to be included in both rankings. Yet another top ranking for Amity University.
The Supreme Court will hear a PIL seeking court-monitored probe into the alleged incidents of sexual assault of women living in Sandesh Khali in West Bengal. As the situation in Sandesh Khali remains grim, NCW Chief Rekha Sharma will visit Sandesh Khali to assess the on-ground situation. Prime Minister Narendra Modi is set to lay the foundation stone of Sri Kalki Dham in Sambal today. The mystery surrounding Kamal Nath's next move continues. Congress cadres remain split about the veteran leader's decision. ED issues its sixth summon to Delhi Chief Minister Arvind Kejriwal in the Liquor Gate probe today. Will he appear this time? The Supreme Court will hear Sharad Pawar's plea challenging an election commission's order recognizing the Ajit Pawar-led faction as the real NCP. Now, with merely months to go for the big 2024 Lok Sabha elections, Prime Minister has set the agenda from a big 370-plus seat target to a mega outreach program. Prime Minister has laid the roadmap leading to his third term. The Congress, on the other hand, is imploding by the day. If rumours are to be believed, top Congress leader Kamal Nath, with 7 MLAs, is set to dump the party soon. In Punjab, Sidhu is set to return to BJP fold. With mega defections set to hit the grand old party, the BJP is getting battle ready. Is it done deal for 2024? Let's debate.
जन जन की आंखों के सपने लेके चले, उम्मीदों को देखो कैसे नए पंख लगे.
PM Modi has displayed a massive show of strength at the BJP National Conference, once again emphasizing the 370-plus formula. The Prime Minister has also instructed BJP Karyakartas on what to do for the next 100 days ahead of the Lok Sabha polls to fulfill the 370-plus mandate.
आने वाले 100 दिनों तक बीजेपी के हर कार्यकर्ता को अपने लिए नए लक्ष्य बनाने होंगे. बीते वर्षों में भाजपा सरकार की योजनाओं का लाभ करोड़ों लाभार्थियों को मिला है. हमें हर लाभार्थी तक पहुंचना है. हमें सिर्फ सरकार बनाने के लिए लोगों को नहीं जोड़ना, बल्कि देश बनाने के लिए भी तो लोगों को जोड़ना है.
While the BJP is consolidating forces and entering the election phase, the opposition is grappling to keep cadres within its fold.
कमलनाथ जी की उपेक्षा चुनाव के टाइम से की जा रही है. कभी किसी ने सोचा नहीं था कि भूपेश बघेल चुनाव हार जाएंगे, कल्पना भी नहीं कर सकते थे. चाहे राहुल जी की बात हो या कांग्रेस पार्टी की हो या पब्लिक की बात हो. तो बात आती है छत्तीसगढ़ और मध्य प्रदेश की. छत्तीसगढ़ हम चुनाव हारे जहां कल्पना नहीं थी. राजस्थान हम लोग चुनाव हारे, लेकिन कमलनाथ जी को ही नकारा क्यों कहा जा रहा है? इसलिए कमलनाथ जी अपने आप को असहाय महसूस करते हुए अपमानित महसूस कर रहे हैं, और जनता उनसे ये चाह रही है कि उनका मान सम्मान कम नहीं होना चाहिए.
और जिस तरह से राज्यसभा के टिकट दिए गए, मेरा एक दिल में और मेरे साथियों के दिल में ये सोच उठी कि भाई जिस मुद्दे पे आप 2024 का चुनाव लड़ना चाहते हैं, उसी मुद्दे पे ही से आप हट जाते हैं, तो हमारा क्या वजूद है, हम क्यों रहें पार्टी के साथ.
Samajwadi Party chief Akhilesh Yadav has also snubbed the India alliance, refusing to join Rahul Gandhi on his yatra, sparking rumors of another implosion. On the other hand, PM Modi has re-emphasized his commitment to India's development.
आज अलग अलग देशों में सत्ता और विपक्ष के दल ये खुलकर मानते हैं कि भारत के सशक्त होने से पूरी दुनिया का हित होने वाला है. हम राजनीति के लिए नहीं, राष्ट्र नीति के लिए निकले हैं. अब देश न छोटे सपने देख सकता है और देश न अब छोटे संकल्प ले सकता है. सपने भी विराट होंगे, संकल्प भी विराट होंगे. अगले 5 साल में हमें विकसित भारत की तरफ एक लंबी छलांग लगानी है.
Further, the PM has also issued the Modi 3.0 challenge. PM Modi said that even opposition leaders are acknowledging the NDA mandate.
आज विपक्ष के नेता भी एनडीए सरकार 400 पार के नारे लगा रहे हैं. एनडीए को 400 पार कराने के लिए भाजपा को 370 का माइलस्टोन पार करना ही होगा.
The grand 2-day BJP National Conference in New Delhi is over. and cadres are raring to swing into full election mode after the PM's resounding call.
Prime Minister Narendra Modi today reiterated the 370 plus formula where the opposition continues to self-destruct. Where on the one hand, the Bharatiya Janata Party is chalking out the political map ahead of 2024 election, the Congress continues to implode. The BJP cadre has been asked to connect to the voters in the next 100 days. The Prime Minister has thrown a third-term challenge. Is 2024 a done deal?
Ahead of polls, more dissonance has struck the Congress party veteran. Congress leader Kamal Nath is tight-lipped over his next move after major speculation over his switch over to the BJP. The Congress is in damage control mode and is trying to put up a brave front. Here's a comprehensive report.
With 2024 polls just 3 months away, more dissonance has struck the Congress party. There is buzz over veteran leader Kamal Nath switching sides to the BJP, but he remains tight-lipped.
कल कहा था कि अगर ऐसी कोई बात हुई सबसे पहले मैं आपको सूचित करूंगा। मेरी तो कहीं बात नहीं हुई।
Congress leaders spilled the beans on Kamal Nath's impending defection.
Indira Gandhi herself, she told, Kamal Nath is my third son. This is a new system was adopted. Wherever the government is coming in the power, people are going that side. Whenever that government is weak, again they are going other government. He enjoyed central minister, he enjoyed chief minister, but why he is going, I can't understand.
His close aide admitted that discontent within Congress led Kamal Nath to decide against the grand old party.
कमलनाथ जी को हमेशा उपेक्षित किया जा रहा है और सारा दोष उनके ऊपर मढ़ा जा रहा है। इस तरह उपेक्षित अगर किया जाता है तो भाजपा में जाके ही काम कराना उचित होगा। अगर ये दल विदल वाला मामला नहीं आया या टिकट मिलने की गारंटी होती तो मैक्सिमम लोग जा सकते, मैं भी जाऊंगा।
Former Congress minister and Kamal Nath's close aide also hinted at Nath's exit.
निर्णय कमलनाथ जी का यही है कि कल भी वो कांग्रेस में थे, आज भी कांग्रेस में और कल भी कांग्रेस में रहेंगे। परसों का मैं नहीं कहता।
But the Congress, which finds itself in a disadvantageous position ahead of the polls, is trying to put up a brave face.
मेरी कमलनाथ जी से चर्चा हुई है, लगातार चर्चा उनसे हो रही है। दबाव ईडी का, आईटी का, सीबीआई का जो सब पर है वो उन पर भी है, लेकिन कमलनाथ जी का चरित्र दबाव में आने वाला नहीं रहा है।
वो तो जो है सिर्फ मेहनत करते हैं, पार्टी के लिए प्रचार करते हैं। हमने तो यही सुना कि ऐसा कुछ नहीं है।
जिस तरह से मैंने बहुत ही क्लोजली देखा है कमलनाथ जी को, उनकी वर्किंग को, संभव नहीं है कि वो कांग्रेस छोड़ के बीजेपी में चले जाएं।
Angry over the recent development, Congress on Sunday released a list of traitor leaders. The list names big leaders whose career had ended after jumping ship to the BJP. The BJP, meanwhile, is ready to roll out a red carpet for Kamal Nath.
जो मैं सुन रही हूँ वो यही है कि उनको इस बात से तकलीफ है कि मध्य प्रदेश की हार उनका ठीकरा उनके सर पे फोड़ा गया। जो आना चाहता है उसके लिए दरवाजे पार्टी खोलती है और अगर आएंगे तो उनका स्वागत होगा।
It remains to be seen if Kamal Nath's exit will trigger a mass exodus in the Congress. Bureau Report, Republic TV.
अयोध्या में भव्य राम मंदिर का निर्माण करके हमने 5 सदियों का इंतजार खत्म किया है। हमने रैप, बलात्कार ऐसे अपराधों को, संगीन अपराधों में फांसी की सजा सुनिश्चित की। 2014 में जब देश ने हमें अवसर दिया तो 2 ट्रिलियन मार्क भी बहुत बड़ा लग रहा था, लेकिन 10 वर्षों में हमने अपनी अर्थव्यवस्था में $2 ट्रिलियन और जोड़ दिया। जब भारत दुनिया की 11वें नंबर की अर्थव्यवस्था था और 11 से 10 पर आने में दम उखड़ गया उनका। हम 11 से 5 पर ले आए। आज ट्रेड, टेक्नोलॉजी, टूरिज्म ऐसे अनेक क्षेत्रों में हमारे संबंध बहुत बेहतर हैं और हम निरंतर विकास कर रहे हैं। यहां तक कि अरब के 5 देशों ने मुझे अपना सर्वोच्च सम्मान तक दिया है। यह सम्मान मोदी का नहीं है, 140 करोड़ भारतीयों के सामर्थ्य का सम्मान है। हम मिशन मोड पर भारत को 2047 तक देश जब आजादी के 100 साल मनाएगा, हम भारत को विकसित देश बनाने के लिए काम कर रहे हैं। हमने तीसरे टर्म में भारत को दुनिया की तीसरी बड़ी आर्थिक ताकत बनाने का संकल्प लिया है और ये मोदी की गारंटी है। कांग्रेस का एक सबसे बड़ा पाप ये रहा है, वो देश की सेनाओं का मनोबल तोड़ने से भी पीछे नहीं रहे। भारत की राष्ट्रीय सुरक्षा और सामरिक शक्ति को नुकसान पहुंचाने में कांग्रेस ने कोई कसर नहीं छोड़ी। जब भी देश के रक्षा क्षेत्र में कोई बड़ा काम हुआ, जब हमारी सेनाओं ने कोई उपलब्धि हासिल की, कांग्रेस ने हर बार उन पर सवाल उठाए। आज विपक्ष के नेता भी एनडीए सरकार 400 पार के नारे लगा रहे हैं। और एनडीए को 400 पार कराने के लिए भाजपा को 370 का माइलस्टोन पार करना ही होगा। सरकार का तीसरा टर्म सत्ता भोग के लिए नहीं मांग रहा। मैं राष्ट्र का संकल्प लेकर निकला हुआ व्यक्ति हूं। अगर मैं अपने घर की ही चिंता करता तो आज करोड़ों गरीबों के घर नहीं बना पाता। मैं देश के करोड़ों बच्चों के भविष्य के लिए जीता हूं, जागता हूं, जूझता रहता हूं। हम सबको जुट जाना है, हर नए वोटर तक पहुंचना है, हर लाभार्थी तक पहुंचना है, हर वर्ग, हर समाज, हर पंथ, परंपरा, सब लोगों के पास पहुंचना है। हमें सबका विश्वास हासिल करना है।
Shehbaz Prasad Hazra, alias Shibu Hazra, a Trinamool Congress leader who was arrested based on a sexual harassment complaint filed by the women in Sandesh Khali, was produced before court today. The case was filed against Hazra and another TMC leader, Uttam Sardar, who are the close aides of Sheikh Shah Jahan, the absconding party leader accused of sexually assaulting the women. The court has ordered 8 days police custody for Shibu Hazra. Meanwhile, politics continues to soar over the Sandesh Khali horror as Mamata continues to blame the BJP for the unrest. Take a look at this report.
Day 13 of women's uprising in Sandesh Khali. Protest after protest, the anger over alleged mass rape in Sandesh Khali is uncontainable now. Arrested TMC leader Shibu Prasad Hazra, a close aide of absconding mafia don Shah Jahan, was produced before court today. He was arrested on February 17th for sexual harassment allegations against him. Meanwhile, the BJP continues to hit out at Chief Minister Mamata-led TMC government.
देखिए बहुत शर्मनाक घटना घटी है क्योंकि जिस तरीके से महिला आके बार बार बोल रही थी कि हमारे साथ रेप किया गया, हमें ऐसे रोका गया, ऐसे बार बार बुलाया जाता था टीएमसी पार्टी ऑफिस में कि आपको अगर लक्ष्मी भंडार लेना है, अगर कुछ सरकारी रियायतें लेना है तो आपको कॉम्प्रोमाइज़ करना पड़ेगा।
हम भी जब गए थे रामपुर तक हम लोगों को जाने दिया था, उसके बाद बैरिकेडिंग लगाया, वहाँ से हम लोगों ने वीडियो कॉलिंग से उन लोगों से बात की, पुलिस ने उन लोगों के ऊपर प्रेशर कर रहे हैं, उसको जो बात है, उसको जो बात रखा है उसको बदलने के लिए। ममता बनर्जी का जो पुलिस है वो तृणमूल का जो गुंडा है, तृणमूल का जो कैडर है उसकी माफी वहाँ पे काम कर रहे हैं।
On the back foot, Mamata shifts the blame on the BJP. The All India Bar Association has condemned the horrific incidents that unfolded in Sandesh Khali. In the letter to Chief Minister Mamata, they demanded strict and immediate action against the culprits. The Supreme Court is set to hear the matter on the 19th of February. Bureau Report, Republic TV.
Time to slip into a short break. Coming up on the other side, ED issues its sixth commission to Delhi Chief Minister Arvind Kejriwal in the liquor gate probe today. Will he appear this time? The Supreme Court will hear Sharad Pawar's plea challenging an election commission's order recognizing the Ajit Pawar-led faction as the real NCP. This and much more after a very short break. Stay tuned.
QS and THE, the world's foremost university rankings organizations, have ranked Amity amongst the top 3% universities globally, making it among the very few Indian universities to be included in both rankings. Yet another top ranking for Amity University.
أقول لكم أيها الإخوة والأخوات ولكل السامعين، للصديق وللعدو، نساؤنا وأطفالنا الذين قتلوا في هذه الأيام في النبطية وفي الصوان وفي غيرها من قرى الجنوب، سوف يدفع العدو ثمن سفكهم لدمائهم دماءً. أن هذه المقاومة في لبنان تملك من القدرة الصاروخية الهائلة والدقيقة التي يجعلها تمتد يدها من كريات شمونة إلى إيلات، وسيرى العدو والصديق أن هذه الدماء سيكون ثمنها دماء، مش مواقع، مش آليات، مش أجهزة تجسس. هذا جزء من المعركة يستمر.
Displaying formidable military might, the Indian Air Force executed the military exercise Vayu Shakti 2024 on the 17th of February at the Pokhran air-to-ground range near Jaisalmer. Republic brings you an exclusive insight into the exercise, showcasing the IAF's offensive and defensive prowess. The theme of the exercise, Navsa Vajra Praharam, set the tone for a compelling display. Take a look at this report.
The Indian Air Force conducted its triennial military exercise Vayu Shakti 2024 on the 17th of February at the Pokhran air-to-ground range.
Right 1 o'clock high, the aircraft has switched on.
ऑपरेशन को अंजाम देने जा रहे हैं.
Republic managed to get an exclusive briefing before the exercises commenced.
Here at Pokhran air-to-ground range, where the Indian Air Force is organizing its triennial exercise, the Vayu Shakti exercise. This exercise happened last in 2019. Notably, the exercise has been divided into two parts, with day events and dusk events. The day events will include display events like flag trooping, supersonic run, and air-to-ground events by fighter aircrafts and helicopters. Meanwhile, Akash air missile firing is also slated as part of the Vayu Shakti exercise.
Exercise Vayu Shakti showcased the IAF's offensive and defensive prowess.
Armed variant for attack. Close air support and high altitude operations aircraft. And there you can see, far right, ALH Mark IV already dispensed its flare, ready to attack the enemy tank target. There you can see right in front of you, ALH Mark IV has attacked. And the tank convoy has been pounded heavily. दुश्मन की अग्रिम श्रेणी का टैंक ALH रुद्र के भीषण हमले से निस्तेनाबूद कर दिया गया है.
The extractor parachute will soon be seen deploying, extracting the platform and roll.
मॉडर्न का है, उसके जरिए एक सामने लगे स्क्रीन पर आप देख रहे हैं कि कैसे C-17 विमान अपने सैनिकों के लिए
This year's theme, Navsa Vajra Praharam, translates to lightning strike from the sky. All types of frontline aircraft took part in the exercise. The exercise lasted over 2 hours, held between day, dusk and night phases. Was aimed at showcasing the IAF's capability to conduct day and night operations. Bureau Report, Republic TV.
Time to slip into a short break. Coming up on the other side, ED issues its 6th summon to Delhi Chief Minister Arvind Kejriwal in the Liquorgate probe today. The big question, will he appear this time? U.S. Senator J.D. Vance opposes Ukraine aid at Munich Security Conference. Russia claims full control of Advika, says Ukrainian troops still in town. Over 300 detained in Russia's country mourns the death of Alexei Navalny, Putin's fiercest foe. Finland's president-elect calls for China's role in Ukraine-Russia peace talks. As Israel continues airstrikes in Gaza, US says it will block another UN ceasefire resolution. Amid the ongoing Russia-Ukraine war, Russian President Vladimir Putin has said that Russia will manage and thrive even if Europe doesn't purchase its gas. He also noted that Russian non-energy sector was growing rapidly. More details inside this report.
Russian President Vladimir Putin has asserted that Russia will manage without Europe purchasing its gas. Putin also addressed the issue of gas pipelines running through Ukraine and dismissed the idea of Ukraine closing one of the pipelines.
Одна нитка газопровода работает через Украину, но есть же еще одна. Украинская сторона ее закрыла. Не мы, они ее закрыли. Хотя вот в чем смысл закрытия? Они же от нас деньги получают за транзит. Как это ни странно прозвучит. Агрессор, а денежки не пахнут, кассируют денежки за транзит. Вот и все. Об этом тоже мало кто говорит.
Putin claimed that Russia was reducing its dependence on the energy sector due to Europe's energy policy and noted that the non-energy sector of the Russian economy was growing at a faster rate.
Чем меньше мы зависим от энергетики, тем лучше, потому что у нас неэнергетическая часть экономики растет гораздо большими темпами, чем раньше. Это же всегда, когда просто деньги получать, тогда зависимость возникает. Когда нужно подумать, тогда включаются другие механизмы. И они у нас заработали. Пусть сами решают, надо им, пусть берут, не надо. Мы обойдемся.
He did not mention the recent death of opposition leader Alexei Navalny, but did comment on his recent interview with Tucker Carlson.
Думаю, что и для нас самих, и тем более для слушателей и зрителей за рубежом, все-таки важно понять ход наших мыслей, понять наше состояние, понять, насколько это чувствительно и важно для нашей страны, все, что происходит на украинском направлении. Для них это улучшение своего тактического положения.
As tensions persist between Russia and Europe, President Putin's remarks highlight Russia's stance on its energy policy and its strategic outlook on the region. Agency Report, Republic TV.
A Republican senator raises doubts about new U.S. funding for Ukraine, citing manufacturing limitations and urging a negotiated peace. However, co-leader of one of Germany's governing parties, the Greens, Richard Lang, countered Vance's stand, stating that halting weapon supplies to Ukraine could lead to prolonging the conflict. As debates continue over U.S. support for Ukraine, the path to resolution remains uncertain.
At the Munich Security Conference, Republican Senator J.D. Vance challenged the urgency of new U.S. funding for Ukraine.
Fundamentally, the limiting factors for American
Vance highlighted manufacturing constraints and stated that the limiting factors for American support of Ukraine is not money, but munitions.
Fundamentally, the limiting factors for American support of Ukraine, it's not money, it's munitions. America, and this is true, by the way, of Europe too, we don't make enough munitions to support a war in Eastern Europe, a war in the Middle East, and potentially contingency in East Asia. So the United States is fundamentally limited.
He expressed skepticism about effectiveness of the proposed $60 billion aid package.
If the package that's running through the Congress right now, $61 billion of supplemental aid to Ukraine goes through, I have to be honest to you, that is not going to fundamentally change the reality on the battlefield. The amount of munitions that we can send to Ukraine right now is very limited, again, not by American willpower or by American money, but by American manufacturing capacity.
Vance called for a shift towards negotiating peace, asserting that all parties involved have an incentive to come to the table.
I think what's reasonable to accomplish is some negotiated peace. I think Russia has incentive to come to the table right now. I think Ukraine, Europe, and the United States have incentive to come to the table. That is going to happen. This will end in a negotiated peace. The question is when it ends in a negotiated peace and what that looks like.
However, a co-leader of one of Germany's governing parties, the Greens, countered Vance's stance, stating that halting weapon supplies to Ukraine could lead to either prolonging the conflict or conceding victory to the Russian President Putin.
Putin has shown over and over again, and he just showed this with the murder of Navalny on Friday, that he has no interest in peace at the moment, that he does not want peace. So if you say we stop supporting Ukraine, stop giving weapons to them, you're not having some scenario where this leads to peace, but at the moment this leads to two scenarios. Either you are prolonging the war or you give up Ukraine and Putin wins.
As debates continue over US support for Ukraine, the path to resolution remains uncertain. Agency report, Republic TV.
Russia has taken over Ukrainian city Avdiivka, calling it an important victory. Now, Avdiivka was a powerful defensive hub of the Ukrainian armed forces. The Russian occupation comes after Ukraine announced it will withdraw its troops from there. More details in this report.
Russian forces have taken complete control of the Ukrainian city of Avdiivka.
Подразделениями группировки войск «Центр» под командованием генерал-полковника Андрея Мордвичева взят под полный контроль город Авдеевка Донецкой Народной Республики, являвшийся мощным оборонительным узлом вооруженных сил Украины. В результате наступательных действий от украинских националистов освобождена территория площадью около 32 квадратных километров.
Russia's defense ministry spokesperson revealed that an area of about 32 square kilometers had been liberated from Ukrainian nationalists. He further said that over 1,500 military personnel lost their lives in the last 24 hours.
Потери противника в боях за Авдеевку в течение последних суток составили более 1500 военнослужащих. Под непрерывным огневым воздействием российских войск лишь отдельным разрозненным формированием украинских боевиков удалось спешно покинуть Авдеевку, бросив при этом вооружение военной техники. Приказ главкома ВСУ Сырского об оставлении города был выпущен только спустя сутки после начавшегося неконтролируемого бегства украинских войск из Авдеевки. В настоящее время проводятся мероприятия по окончательной зачистке города от боевиков, блокированию украинских подразделений, оставивших город и засевших на Авдеевском коксохимическом комбинате.
Russian soldiers were seen raising the Russian flag over the buildings. The information comes after Ukraine's military chief said that he was withdrawing troops from Avdiivka. Kremlin has described Avdiivka's capture as an important victory.
Освобождение Авдеевки позволило отодвинуть линию фронта от Донецка, тем самым существенно обезопасить его от террористических ударов преступного киевского режима. Информация о продвижении наших войск не передавалась огласке до полного разгрома противника и взятия под контроль города. Войска группировки войск «Центр» продолжают наступательные действия по дальнейшему освобождению Донецкой Народной Республики от украинских националистов.
Agency report, Republic TV.
Today in Bucharest, Romania, a somber tribute was held outside the Russian embassy as dozens gathered to honor the late Russian opposition leader Alexei Navalny. People across the nation paid tribute, laying flowers at the Solovetsky Stone Monument in Moscow. The circumstances surrounding Navalny's death have raised questions, leaving many seeking answers. Take a look at this report.
In Romania's capital, Bucharest, many people gathered to honor the memory of late Russian opposition leader Alexei Navalny. Many of the attendees in Bucharest lit candles and placed flowers next to a memorial portrait of Navalny, while several people brandished placards.
Am venit ca să-mi exprim îngrijorarea, nemulțumirea, revolta despre ce se întâmplă în preajma noastră alături, în Ucraina, în Federația Rusă, în satul ăsta mic global, în care un dictator ca Hitler își permite să distrugă opoziția, să-și supună populația și să invadeze o țară vecină pașnică. Asta e inadmisibil. Mă îngrijorează că în România încă mai sunt unii care îl justifică și îl susțin pe Hitler.
The sudden death of 47-year-old Navalny was a crushing blow to many Russians.
Он очень сильный человек, и вся Россия, мне кажется, сожалеет о том, что мы потеряли такого героя.
Почему для вас это важно?
Он для меня стал первым после событий 22 года в феврале, можно сказать, проводником в мир политики, открыл глаза и показал, где мы живем на самом деле.
Many attendees expressed skepticism over the official explanation of Navalny's death. Meanwhile, over 400 people were detained in Russia while paying tribute to Navalny, who died at a remote Arctic penal colony.
Почтить память героя.
Считаете его героем?
Да, мы считаем его героем. Потому что он боролся за свободу.
А почему для вас это важно, вот, почтить память?
Потому что мы считаем, что важно в 21 веке жить в демократической стране, а не в диктатуре.
Late Navalny's wife condemned the Russian government's actions at the Munich Security Conference. As Russia mourns the loss of Alexei Navalny, questions surrounding his death persist, leaving his supporters demanding accountability from the authorities. Agency Report, Republic TV.
Time to slip in a short break. Coming up on the other side, Russia claims full control of Avdiivka, says Ukrainian troops still in town. Over 300 detained in Russia as country mourns the death of Alexei Navalny, Putin's fiercest foe. This and much more after a very short break. Stay tuned.
I am very, very happy to announce that Niva Bupa Health Insurance has come on board as Republic TV's studio partner. Niva Bupa Health Insurance is the fastest growing company among standalone health insurance players in India. It has also provided health insurance coverage to 1.1 crore people in India and settled over 15 lakh claims, processing one claim every 60 seconds. So we are delighted to be partnering with them.
What I want to say to everybody who is here is that let's keep the external environment aside for a moment. Let's look at what within us we can fix. And there is a lot we can. You know, I teach a class on breakthrough leadership, and in that we realize that there are so many things as women which we let become self-limiting for ourselves. You know, the imposter syndrome, for example, affects women more than men. Do you know, Rhythm, that if there is, for example, a job posting, even in your own organization, if a man feels he's even 50% ready, he will apply for it. But a woman will apply for it only if she feels she's 80 or 90% ready.
Amazing.
So we put so much pressure on ourselves, our own self-limiting beliefs. I think if we start focusing on what is in our control, and there is a lot which is in our control, I think there is no limit to what we can achieve. So we have come a long way in equality and in women representation, but I think there is a long way to go as well.
But I think it's a lovely thought.
Yes.
I also want to ask you, you're heading the very prestigious Shri Shri University. It has over 11 schools. There are also over 10,000 students in them. How do you think women, Professor Kulkarni, can be helped at the grassroots level, even keeping in mind their health and hygiene? How can we take this forward?
Yeah, women have an extremely vital role to play. We are all sitting here, mothers, aunts, sisters, friends, and the nurturing of women starts at home. Our mother is our first teacher. So the role women can play today is exceptional. You look at our entire G20 presidency. We had the vertical on W20, the Women 20. We had a vertical on G20 Empower. And our Honorable Prime Minister is now complete focus is on women-led development. There are so many new schemes. There are
At the Munich Security Conference, Finnish President-elect Alexander Stubb reiterated Finland's cooperation with the US, irrespective of who becomes the President of the United States. More details in this report.
Finnish President-elect Alexander Stubb has expressed confidence in Finland's relationship with the United States at the Munich Security Conference. He said that Finland will stay close to the US regardless of the outcome of the upcoming presidential election. He emphasized the importance of maintaining a strong bond between Finland and the US and stated that as president, he will get along with the President of the United States regardless of who it is.
I can only speak, obviously, for myself as president-elect and say that the Finnish president will have to and will get along with the President of the United States, regardless of who it is. I also feel that we're a very close ally to the US right now because we are NATO members and because we just signed a defense cooperation agreement with the United States.
Stubb also touched on the topic of US backing Ukraine and expressed his belief that the US will continue its support.
I would probably at this stage call for all of us to be cool, calm and collected and understand that there are only a few things that you can affect, and that is your own preparedness. We cannot affect the American elections. I don't have the right to vote there. I assume you don't have the right to vote there as well. So that means that we have to prepare for different types of scenarios. I personally think that it's highly unlikely that the United States, no matter who is elected, would stop supporting Ukraine. And the reason is very simple. The transactional cost of that is too high. It doesn't matter who is president, he or she will understand that supporting Ukraine in this point in time is crucial for American security interests.
Agency report, Republic TV.
In news and wrap from across the globe, a memorial for late Russian opposition leader Alexei Navalny in St. Petersburg was destroyed overnight by unidentified people. Amid news regarding Navalny's suspicious death, people across Russia laid flowers at monuments for the victims of political repression. An explosion caused by a gas leak leveled a home in Sterling, Virginia, killing one firefighter and injured four others. According to officials, the blast and fire occurred while firefighters were inside the building. Finland President Alexander Stubb has said that regardless of who becomes the next US president, American-Finnish relations will remain secure. Stubb also said that he believed the US would continue to support Ukraine. Hungary's Prime Minister Orbán, facing fallout from a presidential pardon scandal, attempted damage control in his State of the Nation address. This comes after the nationalist leader's international conduct has strained relations with EU and NATO allies. Former President Donald Trump has vowed to fight the weaponization of the legal system, launching an attack on the criminal and civil cases against him. This comes after New York court ordered Trump and his companies to pay $355 million in penalties. Nigerians are facing one of the worst economic crises that has hit West Africa in years, triggered by a rising inflation rate. The latest government statistics showed that the inflation rate in January rose to 29.9%, mainly driven by a rise in the prices of food and non-alcoholic beverages. Thailand's former Prime Minister Thaksin Shinawatra arrived in Bangkok shortly after he was released on parole from a police hospital where he spent 6 months serving time for corruption-related offences. A new law in Texas banning diversity, equity and inclusion initiatives from state-funded higher education institutions has taken effect. This comes as Republican lawmakers in at least 19 states are pursuing various restrictions on diversity initiatives, an issue they hope will mobilize voters in upcoming U.S. presidential polls. Pope Francis urged for peace in Sudan and Mozambique, highlighting the dire humanitarian situation in both countries due to the ongoing armed conflict. He requested parties to cease hostilities. Nice, the French Riviera's capital, kicked off the annual carnival season with a parade of lights, dancing and extravagant floats and flower sculptures themed around pop culture. The carnival remains part of a European medieval tradition and one of the biggest in the world. As Israel continues its offensive against Hamas, the IDF forces conducted fresh airstrikes in Gaza. Israel's offensive comes as Prime Minister Netanyahu vows all-out attack on Hamas terror. Take a look at this report.
Israeli jets have conducted an airstrike in Gaza's southernmost city of Rafah, killing 6, including 3 children and 1 woman.
اللي صار هاي مكان آمن. كلياتهم اللي بيستشهدوا قاعدين بمكان آمن. فيش مكان آمن. يعني فيش واحد استشهد من خان يونس قالوا له اطلع وما طلعش. يعني كلهم اللي بيستشهدوا اليهود قالوا لنا اطلع على اماكن آمنة. طبعا الموت والقصف بالاماكن الآمنة اللي قالوا لنا عنها. فيش مكان آمن في غزة كلها هي.
The fresh attacks come in the backdrop of Prime Minister Netanyahu's vow to continue the offensive until total victory over Hamas.
הלחץ הצבאי שלנו עובד. אנחנו סוגרים על החמאס בבירת הטרור ח'אן יונס. בימים האחרונים הגענו למקומות שהאויב לא דמיין שנגיע. מוטטנו את רוב גדודי החמאס ולא נעצור עד שנמוטט את כולם. זהו תנאי הכרחי להשגת הניצחון המוחלט ולא נוותר עליו.
As Israel continues its offensive, Prime Minister Netanyahu also asserted that he will not succumb to any kind of diplomatic pressure.
לא ניכנע לתכתיבים בינלאומיים בעניין הסדר עתידי עם הפלסטינים. העברתי בקבינט, ואני חוזר ומדגיש בפני העולם גם הערב. הסדר יושג אך ורק במשא ומתן ישיר בין הצדדים, ללא תנאים מוקדמים. ישראל בהנהגתי תמשיך להתנגד בתוקף להכרה חד-צדדית במדינה פלסטינית. ומתי רוצים לתת ההכרה החד-צדדית הזאת? אחרי הטבח הנורא של 7 באוקטובר? לא יכול להיות פרס גדול יותר לטרור.
The Israeli military launched its war in response to a cross-border Hamas attack on October 7th that killed 1,200 people in Israel and took 250 others hostage. Several hostages were released by Hamas during the ceasefire period in November. Hamas still holds 130 hostages in captivity. Agency report, Republic TV.
Time to slip into a short break. Coming up on the other side. As the situation Sandesh Khali remains grim, NCW Chief Rekha Sharma will visit Sandesh Khali to assess the on-ground situation. Prime Minister Narendra Modi is set to lay the foundation stone of Sri Kalki Dham in Sambhal today. This and much more after a very short break. Stay tuned.
But make no mistake, Putin is responsible for Navalny's death. Putin is responsible. I'm heading off to East Palestine in a moment, but I wanted to say a few things this morning about Alexei Navalny. You know, like millions of people around the world, I'm literally both not surprised and outraged by the news. Reported death of Alexei Navalny. He bravely stood up to the corruption, the violence, and all the bad things that the Putin government was doing. In response, Putin had him poisoned, he had him arrested, he had him prosecuted for fabricated crimes, he sentenced him to prison, he was held in isolation. Even all that didn't stop him from calling out Putin's lies. Even in prison, he was a powerful voice for the truth, which is kind of amazing when you think about it. And he could have lived safely in exile after the assassination attempt on him in 2020, which nearly killed him, I might add. But he was traveling outside the country at the time. Instead, he returned to Russia. Knowing he'd likely be imprisoned or even killed if he continued his work. But he did it anyway, because he believed so deeply in his country, in Russia. Reports of his death, if they're true, and I have no reason to believe they're not, Russian authorities are going to tell their own story. But make no mistake, Putin is responsible for Navalny's death. Putin is responsible. What has happened to Navalny is yet more proof of Putin's brutality. No one should be fooled, not in Russia, not at home, not anywhere in the world. Putin does not only target his citizens of other countries, as we've seen what's going on in Ukraine right now, he also inflicts terrible crimes on his own people. And as people across Russia and around the world are mourning Navalny today because he was so many things that Putin was not. He was brave, he was principled, he was dedicated to building a Russia where the rule of law existed and where it applied to everybody. Navalny believed in that Russia. He knew it was a cause worth fighting for, and obviously even dying for. This tragedy reminds us of the stakes of this moment. We have to provide the funding so Ukraine can keep defending itself against Putin's vicious onslaughts and war crimes.
Бойтесь ареста по прилету, вас же арестуют по прилету. Меня арестуют?
Удачи, Алексей! Мы с вами.
Top headlines this morning. A top court to hear PIL on Sandesh Khali seeking court-monitored probe into alleged incidents of sexual assault on women living in Sandesh Khali. NCW Chief Rekha Sharma en route Sandesh Khali. Top court to hear Chandigarh Mayor polls controversy on alleged rigging. Mayor Manoj Sonkar resigns late last night. In a big setback to the Aam Aadmi Party in Chandigarh, 3 out of its councillors jumped ship and joined the BJP, giving it majority of 19 councillors. Protesters put Delhi Chalo March on hold to study the new MSP proposal by the central government. Prime Minister Modi set to lay the foundation stone of Kalki Dham in Sambhal today. Smriti Irani, Rahul Gandhi in UP's Amethi. The last time they were in Amethi at the same time was in February 2022 during UP election campaign. And we start off this edition of Live and Breaking with the latest that's coming in on the Sandesh Khali case. In fact, note that the matter has already reached the top court. The top court is scheduled to hear the case today. This is a PIL that seeks a court-monitored CBI or SIT investigation into the violence in West Bengal's Sandesh Khali. So the matter will be heard in top court today. This after a plea was filed by Alok Shrivastava in his personal capacity that seeks compensation as well to the victims of Sandesh Khali violence and action against officials of West Bengal Police for alleged dereliction of duty. So while the women in Sandesh Khali have been fighting for justice, bringing to light the kind of atrocities being inflicted by TMC goons, the matter will be taken up in the top court today. Now note that this PIL that's been filed in the top court that seeks a court-monitored CBI or SIT probe into the violence in Bengal's Sandesh Khali village has been filed by Advocate Alok Shrivastava, who's also sought compensation for the victims of Sandesh Khali violence and action against officials of West Bengal Police for alleged dereliction of duty. And while the matter would be heard in the top court today, details coming in that NCW Chief Rekha Sharma has already left for Sandesh Khali to assess the on-ground situation. So NCW Chief, who is going to be on the ground today to speak to the victims of Sandesh Khali violence, to hear about the injustice to the women in this area who've spoken out against the TMC goons